How often have you been at a restaurant and glanced over at the family or the couple sitting next to you, and only to observe that their faces are buried in their phones instead of talking to one another? A survey conducted by Joseph Grenny recently looked into what he calls electronic displays of insensitivities, which basically means that when you're around other people, you use your phone inconsiderately. Grenny reported that an astonishing 89% of his 2025 survey participants reported that this behavior has damaged a personal relationship of theirs. 99% say that at least once a week, their friends or family stop paying attention to them in favor of something on their smartphone. Are you one of these people? I can guarantee that almost every individual attending BYUI owns a cell phone. If not, they absolutely know someone who does. I myself own a cell phone, the latest and greatest even, the newest model of the iPhone, whatever. But I strongly feel that smartphones, rather the overuse of smartphones, damage people's social skills and their personal lives. I've done a substantial amount of research on this topic, and I'm excited to share with you some of the things that I found. Excessive use of cell phones impact your personal life negatively. I mainly want to talk to you today about the negative effects that come from being addicted to your smartphone. First, I will describe how communicating more so through smartphones than in person has negative effects. Second, I'll examine how and why phones are ruining relationships. And third, I will discuss how phones distract you from the important things in life. I will be the first to admit that smartphones are extremely useful and very impressive. I don't doubt that there are several benefits of owning a smartphone. I myself constantly use the navigation app on my phone to get me from place to place, which I heavily rely on, to be honest. Communication is essential to a person's well-being. A person who has well-balanced social skills must be able to communicate effectively, and not just through text, tweets, and emails via their phone. They must be able to talk to and interact with another person face to face. Unfortunately, many people of our generation, and even our parents' generation, have become reliant and essentially addicted to smartphones. According to a Pew Research survey done in 2013 done by Duggan and Smith, 73% of adults online use some kind of social networking platform. Of these adults online, 71% are Facebook users, 63% of whom report visiting the site at least once per day. And of those, 40% report visiting the site multiple times per day, every day, through their phone. It's no secret that technology is constantly and rapidly improving. According to technology experts, human evolution is directly linked to the evolution of technology. This implies that technology is hastily changing to match the needs of humanity, which can be kind of scary to think about because we humans nowadays can't seem to live without our phones or other technological devices. Not having adequate practice in communicating with others face-to-face damages a person's ability to speak comfortably in front of people. Those who solely rely on communicating and conversing through phones are less likely to be able to hold an actual conversation with someone who is in their presence. People who see an individual who is constantly on their phone, like rarely glancing up, they're not likely to strike up a conversation with you, or they're not likely to make an effort to get to know you, which could result in losing an opportunity to create new friendships and other new relationships. It may be tough to swallow, but the majority of smartphone users are in fact addicted to their phone or the social media apps on their phone. Don't believe me? In October 2010, Facebook's user base was at 500 million, which surpasses the population of the United States. Just 4 years later, an article in the New York Times in April 2014 showed that Facebook now had 1.3 billion users, which places its user base at close range to the population of the most heavily populated country in the world, China. Having an addiction to a smartphone ruins relationships. Too often, groups of friends, couples, and families go out for quality time, but somehow neglect to interact with anyone who they're with. A major concern of the detrimental effects of cell phone addiction is that if you spend most of your time communicating through text or through email in this virtual world, it will become harder and harder to learn the skills required to create lasting, loving relationships. According to Joseph Grenny, in his survey that I mentioned earlier, I previously stated that 90% of his survey participants said that at least once a week, a friend or family member would interrupt or ignore them because of something on their phone. 1 in 4 of them say that it caused a serious rift in the relationship. Phones are a major distraction in being part of the important things in life. A saddening observation I make each time that I take my son to the park or I jump, the playland places like that, I see these mothers on their phones rarely glancing up to acknowledge how high their 2-year-old can jump or to watch them run as fast as they can. Today's society is missing out on life because of this virtual world that we carry in our pockets, which essentially has taken precedence over the things that should be a priority. It seems that people care more about documenting the event or memory and broadcasting it all over social media rather than being a part of the moment and creating a memory instead of a post. Younger adults in America, ages 18 to 29, are heavily dependent on a smartphone for online access. That is 15% of the United States population. Don't be a cell phone addict waiting for your next fix of reading a Facebook post or answering a text. Be present. Interact with your family and friends, acknowledge their feelings, and listen. Just because you hear what somebody is saying while you're on your phone does not mean that you're listening. Life is much too short and too great to merely live through your phone. No phone in the world will ever be greater than life, so enjoy life more than you enjoy your phone.